an interesting question came in about moving on, and saying by saying you're going to move on 1 year after a death, e.g., remove reminders, photos, etc. Can this work? And I imagine it's a parallel with relationships where some people just get rid of all the photos of the person they've broken up with. And I was wondering, can you deal with kind of a grief in the same way as you might do a living loss and a breakup?
I mean, it's really interesting. My parents' generation was very much believing in what you don't think about isn't going to hurt you, forget and move on, get over it, all of that. And I think as human beings, we actually are past, and our past relationships live on in us, and the love for the person lives on in us forever in different intensities. So I don't think we can kind of cut and run and move on. But I think there is something about this idea of where you put your attention and where you put what you're wanting, what your hopes are, what you have a dream of, and what you kind of make happen by what you do with your time. So if you have said to yourself, at a particular time, I really, I'm so bored of myself. I'm so bored of my grieving. I'm so bored of being miserable. I actually want to have more joy in my life. I want to have another relationship, say, I want to be happy. I think there are things that you can do that, again, this idea of holding both, you can allow yourself to miss and love the person that died. And you can be active, and grief is acting, grief works. That's why I called it Grief Works. You can be active in putting in place in your being, in your emotions and in your day, things that are more likely to put you in the direction of, say, having another relationship, of moving on, so that you go out more, you go to movies, you join clubs, you have, social prescriptions, you join a painting club or a gardening club or a knitting club, so you meet other people. So if you get different inputs into yourself, that affects you and it affects your outputs. So if with grief, you can get very narrow and very tight and locked in yourself, and your heart can feel quite shut down. So even if you saw someone that could be a partner or you could have fun with, you're not available, you're not open to it. But if you kind of really have an open mindset and say to yourself, I really want to change my operating system, how I am, doesn't mean I'm not going to grieve. It doesn't mean I'm not going to be sad or have times of great sadness. And I don't want this to be the end of me. I don't want this to define all of my life. I do want to live and love again. And I do want to have whatever it is you want in your life. I think deciding that does make a difference.